All right, guys, today's episode show sponsor here is going to be Divine Athletes. Now, Divine Athletes owner Kelly, she's a bodybuilding and health and wellness coach. She builds personally tailored fitness plans for anyone with a need. Now, I know personally her clients range from anyone from beginners athletes to professional athletes, or even, as I've talked to her about this, dietary restricted individuals. So if you have an issue, this is somebody you're going to want to get a hold of. Her plans include nutrition, fitness routines, vitamins, and supplement recommendations, as well as one-on-one support to meet any goal that you wind up having. And trust me, this woman is at the top of her craft when it comes down to this profession. All right, Divine Athletes and Kelly can be found on Facebook, Instagram, or at divineathletes.com. I strongly suggest that you contact Kelly through any one of these platforms for a consultation. This woman, again, is at the top of her field. She knows exactly what she's talking about, and she has turned out some of the best clientele I have ever seen. Divineathletes.com. All right, let's go over this one because you guys have been asking me to cover this gent for quite a long time, and I'm not even going to try to disrespect his name and try to pronounce it correctly. Most of the videos, it seems, can be followed on Warrior Unicorn. That's at Warrior Unicorn on YouTube here. I want to go over about whether or not you think, or what you guys ask me about my opinion about how his Wing Chun is. So let's take a look at some things that I think are about how I think. Let's just look at it that way, and let's take a look. All right, so I'm not even going to remotely try to pronounce this Sifu's name because I'm not going to disrespect him, but I'm going to give you the short answer. I'm going to give you the short answer for this because a lot of you guys have been asking my opinion for this. If you are not following this channel for Wing Chun, just quit Wing Chun. I'm going to tell you, when I first came across this guy's stuff, he is the second person in my years of study, three people that I think have harnessed the philosophy of what Wing Chun is supposed to be, right? Dave Meadows, who passed recently, he's one of the first. Dave Meadows brought an aggressive mindset to Wing Chun. That if you haven't seen Dave Meadows' old videos that are on there, he comes from a lineage that was Duncan Lung before Duncan Lung turned into applied Wing Chun, which it's kickboxing in my opinion, but it doesn't mean that it's not effective. Dave Meadows has got some great stuff out there. Sifu Klaus Brand was the second one that I looked at and went, my God, these guys are speaking my language when it comes down to what I think fighting truly is. Klaus Brand's got a great video out there where he talks about how you're not going to be able to do all that relaxed movements inside of a true fight and altercation. Don't forget, we're not going to use our Wing Chun in a controlled environment. It's going to be, it's self-defense, right? It's not like we're doing a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament or a Chi-Sao tournament. You're going to be your automatic body nervous system is going to kick in. You're going to be tense up. This is the third guy. All three of them, Sifu Dave Meadows, Sifu Klaus Brand, and this gentleman, they absolutely put on to film, if you will, what I think real Wing Chun is. Now, let me kind of show you what I'm talking about when it comes down to this. All right, there's something you guys need to understand when it comes down to Wing Chun and what I think it truly is, right? A lot of us over the years have talked about the fact that Wing Chun is, you end a fight in 3 seconds or less. We talked about that. But as you've seen over the years, guys can take 12, 15 hits and keep coming. And that could be a lot because we don't know how to hit properly, meaning who's ever applying the martial art, or you're just facing a tough son of a bitch. So clearly, if we're going to adopt the mindset and the aptitude in the fight of, it's got to be the legend that Wing Chun was created by a smaller person being able to overcome a larger person, which then did so much detriment to martial art because our martial art, because all of a sudden it was you shouldn't lift weights for Wing Chun. If you knew how many people were criticized me for being a weightlifter, they're like, oh, you shouldn't have muscle for Wing Chun. Well, come be on the receiving end of a hit of mine. Then let's see whether or not relaxation helps you, right? Relaxation or that yielding energy or whatnot, it helps in two areas of Wing Chun. Chi and grappling, right? Chi and grappling. And what have we turned Wing Chun into? Chi, but not too many people out there in the Wing Chun community have the background of wrestling like I do. Remember, I came from wrestling first, then into Wing Chun, so I was already in love with that close proximity space. The transition always comes with the Wing Chun problem of how do you bridge the gap, right? You're standing in front of somebody, you got your Mun Sao, Wu Sao, your Choi Sao, or Q Sao, whatever you want to call it, and then all of a sudden, well, how do you bridge the gap in Wing Chun, right? Most people in the Wing Chun community, they hurt the exploration and demonstration of their art by trying to receive the energy that hasn't been established with yet, right? What I mean by that is I'm going to stand in front of you with my guard, and you're going to punch, I'm going to pock, I'm going to bong, I'm going to time, and we know that that's not how shit happens. Go ahead and stand in front of Floyd Mayweather and try to pock or bong or Bill Style, anything of his attacks. Even an amateur boxer has a superior jab that you're not going to wind up picking up. So how do we bridge the gap in Wing Chun? We attack. This is why I think that along with Dave Meadows, Sifu Dave Meadows, and Sifu Klaus brand, this guy's stuff is superior. He 100% attacks with power. Now, here's something you have to pay attention to if you're doing Wing Chun. We have three, everyone talks about kicking range, kneeing range, punching range, kneeing range, elbow range, and then grappling range, right? It's simply contact range. But I think this, if you're truly ever going to focus on Wing Chun, what you have to focus on is the elbow, right? We talk about elbow power. It's adapted in the first form, in the section, the Wu Sao, the Fuk Sao section. What I think is superior about this guy is 90% of the stuff that I've seen him come from or apply is elbows. The way, here's his Lan Sao's, right? And it's an elbow strike. If you watch somebody who is able to deliver a proper elbow strike without compromising their structure, that's it. That's it. Because now you got another, foot and some inches between your elbow and your wrist, which is where your power comes from. It's the concept of if you can master training with your body, you could train with weapons, and then weapons will wind up enhancing your body. Look at the elbow is training with your body, and the fist is a weapon, right? You want to have all that focus in the elbow. What I think is beautiful about this guy's content is he does one thing that a lot of you didn't pick up on Bruce Lee, what he did, and I'm going to show you in a second. But what he really focuses on is this concept of Fan Sao. You hear me talk about it all the time. Fan Sao is continuation of strike, okay? And I want you to think about this for a second. I'm gonna paint a picture, and let's have a discussion. The wooden dummy is brilliant for teaching you about recovery, right? Because the wooden dummy doesn't move. So if you hit the wooden dummy with a high-low Gansao and you're in a bad position like the famous Bruce Lee pitcher, then you're going to be looking at, okay, how do I recover from that position because I look bad, right? I'm not in a position to deliver proper strikes from that position. We do that in what's called the 5-step drill, right? 5-step drill is one of the best drills when it comes down to Wing Chun and your ability to recover from a bad position and deliver a strike again.
You're coming in. Right. I'm shorter than you. I got to be able to deliver those powers. So my first punch is here. 1. I get 5 more shots. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here's 5. 5. I'm going to feed this again. I'm keeping this. You are in this position right here. You have to now figure out what is the best method to address this punch and deliver an attack. And then you get 5 punches. Okay. So I'm punching. I'm going to feed this 5 until you feel like you know what to address on this. 5, And when you're comfortable, you address it how you want to. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now deliver 5 again. Now, this is a fight. This is bad position. How do I get out of this position? 5 again. Okay, 5 again. One more time, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, 5 again. 5, well, where's your Wing Chun now? 5 again. Where's your tools now? 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. So 5 again. Good. What am I going to do? 5 again. One more, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we continue and we continue, we continue.
So when you're learning 5-step drill and you're learning a dummy, what you're not learning is chi sao, right? So you got to compartmentalize. You have to learn your recovery drills and position, recovery and position, and then your sensitivity drills for fan sao, which is chi sao. And I know I'm getting all over the place here, but you have to understand the brilliance of when you see shit like this guy doing this crap. And I say crap lovingly, of course. It's the melding of the two. We spend so much time in chi sao trying to harness our reflexes, our sensitivity, all this. Then when it comes down to delivering a strike, half you guys will hit like if you got a fucking wet noodle for an arm because you didn't learn how to build your position or recovery if you punched and the guy's not there anymore like a boxer, right? So many of you are like, oh, my Wing Chun versus a boxer. What are you going to do if you get a light burly in front of you who has footwork that you just can't keep up with? You're going to be swinging in the air, and if you swing in the air, you lose balance. This is why this guy right here is teaching phenomenal Wing Chun when it comes down to balance, striking, recovery from that strike after it's been delivered, and then being in a position to deliver another punch. He embodies the potential of phenomenal fan sao. All right, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying this. This is going to wind up teaching you guys exactly what your balance for a striking art should be in order to deliver fan sao, right? Oh, crap. I cannot believe I'm giving Bruce credit for this. You guys think of this as the Cobra pose. And a lot of what Bruce Lee said is going to have a bunch of different meanings, right? It's no secret that I'm not a fan of him because he did not teach the proper Wing Chun, all this kind of crap. And to be honest, you have to study Wing Chun for years. I've been studying Wing Chun since 1996. 96 is when I first started learning in the back of a TGI Fridays restaurant from one of the bartenders whose cousin was teaching him Wing Chun. My buddy Randy introduced me to Wing Chun back in 1996, and this is 2023, and I'm still discovering new beautiful things about this art, right? The art does come down to the big fundamental of the strike, right? But what happens when you strike and then you're not in a position to strike again, right? 5-step drill showed you that. It's like, whew, I punch, I miff. Damn, now what am I going to do? This is what this purpose. It could be, but Bruce Lee was always doing philosophical stuff, right? Bill G, if you look past the pointing finger, you're going to miss all that heavenly glory stuff. Be like water is my favorite misunderstood Bruce Lee quote, which he took from Wing Chun, because yeah, it's a philosophy where you got to be, become whatever in life, but to be like water for a physical aspect is beautifully found in both chi sao and grappling, where you're flowing, meeting an obstruction, and continuing to your core for a strike, a choke, whatever it is. So be like water. In our concept, we always want to really focus on the physical aspect for it. I'm not so much for the philosophical garbage because you get lost in the context of combat. Now, when you look at his pose and Bruce Lee flexed out that his lats, what you do when you're in a stance like that and you flex yourself out and do this, I want you guys to feel this, right? When you're standing, I don't care if you're in your Yeji Kim Young Ma stance or if you're in a neutral stance with your feet pointing in a horse stance, when you flex forward, what you do is you recess back into your core. You do round out yourself. If Bruce Lee continued his arms forward, he would be like holding a beach ball, This is it, guys. Nobody else is talking about this. This area in which you're encompassing the flaring of your lats, the focus on your elbows with conjunction with your hips, and you have this energy projected forward as if you're holding a beach ball. That's where your Wing Chun lives. Now, I'm going to show you in the stance of how it's applied versus how it's been misapplied. All right. You know, I have a phenomenal love affair for the Lung Ting lineage of Wing Chun. I think it's some of the most brutal fighting Wing Chun demonstrate out there. I believe that Klaus Brand did come from there. We all know Eamon Bostepi did, Norbert Mayday. There's a lot of killers from there, right? Keith Kernspet and the savages he brought out. This has always been my problem. I established a base. Now, just because I'm saying this doesn't mean that people can't do this, right? So if you're in the Lung Ting lineage and you're coming in the comment section saying, well, you don't understand what it's for, this, that, I'm not looking to debate you. I'm looking to express my views. When I did learn this style of footwork, which was the 70-30 weight distribution, right? Which was the head over hips, over the back foot, which you can see clearly in this turn from a Chum Q form, or this is Bill G form, excuse me. What you're going to see is the concept was when you turn, one of the concepts was that you're able to pick up your front foot for a kick better. My wrestling background did not allow my body to process or my mind to process the concept of shit. Well, if I pick up one of my feet like that, because I'm not a kicker to begin with, I don't like this crap, I'm going to be off balance, and off balance goes to the ground. You'll see a lot of this, and there's millions of YouTube demonstrations out there. When you watch people do Chi Sao, if you know anything about Wing Chun, if you have any experience, you'll always look at people's center of gravity raised. It's just raised because what are we doing? We're Chi Sao and arm movement and do all this kind of garbage. I had battled for years my footwork because the 70-30 weight distribution did not work for me. Again, here's the problem. We put something on film, people duplicate it, they teach it as if it's the gospel truth, it gets watered down, you say you know Wing Chun, and then you get embarrassed by somebody who's got boxing for 2 weeks and a 1 month pass to a BJJ school, right? This is training. Y'all know that I say nonstop, there's a difference between training and application, right? So I'm going to tell you, yes, any grappler will take him down in this position. Period. We've all seen the video of William Chung being taken down by Eamon Bostepi, right? Because the Wing Chun footwork, the way it's taught, will almost guarantee you getting knocked on your ass in a full speed, explosive, combative circumstance. Guys, if you can master this in an energetics controlled Chi Sao or demonstration platform, by all means do it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying from personal experience, you need a base. It wasn't until I saw Wang Shenglung's base and I went, damn, all right, this guy clearly says we could do 50-50 when we turn. I've talked about that for the last decade plus. You know that. Here is where, going back to what I said about Bruce Lee and the Cobra pose, where it lives and why it's so important for your Wing Chun. I'm going to play this without volume, and I want you to watch. Number one, look at already when he stands in a neutral position instructing the class. I know it's hard to see because it's on a YouTube short. He's already in a perfect 50-50 balance. I'm going to tell you, I've never touched hands with this man, never trained with him, never spoken with him. He understands the individual sides of both bodies and then unifying them together in a strike. You've heard me talk about it. When you're in your Mun Sao, Wu Sao, even if this hand is forward, this side has to be engaged, ready to go. It's essential in the form that you learn in your first form how to go forward as you're coming backwards. Well, what are you talking about? There's videos I've done on it. Make sure you take a look at it. Always forwarding energy in Wing Chun no matter what. But as we watch this, I want to freeze frame this a little bit. Here's explosive going forward, and then he recesses back. Now, for those who are going to argue about this, this stance is also found in the Wing Chun pull form. The beauty about this is if you are in a Cobra posed, trained position to where you understand that the beach ball would make contact, right? You're in the Cobra pose for Bruce Lee. Beach ball is going to make contact with your elbow, your hip, and your elbow. Your hands are just there, right? If you are always focused on hip, elbow, elbow, you will form a base with your legs that cannot be disrupted. Unless you get a fucking shot right in the face, somebody clicks your button and your brain shuts off. But it's an undisturbable base from a grappling point of view, from where Wing Chun lives, in order to deliver strikes in that space. It's beautiful. Let's continue. Watch him as he moves. Boom. Here, if you can see this, he's in a 50-50 stance, but he's got that recessed back, which makes it look like there could be 70-30 weight distribution. No way. This son of a bitch is fully balanced. He just has his core sunken. His dantian is rooted into the ground. That third tripod leg from your hips being lanyarded into the earth is there. When I saw this guy for the first time, I went, damn, this son of a bitch can hit, and he can hit, and if it doesn't do anything to the target, and if he doesn't wind up moving the target, his balance is not going to be disturbed because he's rooted properly, and he's going to be in a position to land another strike. Let's watch. As he goes, he's going to move. Boom, he's perfect. Rising up, that's rising. It's Yuma, rising and sinking energy. Look at this perfect Cobra trained pose. I understand where my energy is in my body. Boom, boom. Look at that sinking and that rising Yuma. It is fucking phenomenal. I love it. Boom. Let's play some more punching. Here, you already know he knows how to deliver a punch through his fist because his elbows are so well trained for elbow strikes. Boom, 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 boom. He knows how to use his Yuma. Rising, sinking, turning and rising and turning the other direction. Yuma is so important for Wing Chun, but we don't train it. We don't train with the separation of hips and waist. This guy, 100% knows what he's doing. Let's take a look at another clip. All right, let's look again. Look at how he's recessed in his movement. He's back within himself, and he's able to use Yuma for everything. Look at how they train. Yeah, that's back 70-30 for the weight distribution to train on the back leg for the explosion, the explosion going forward in the strike. But their recovery is flawless. Their recovery is perfect. They put themselves in a position of 50-50 to where they're not extended out of that route for punch. It's fucking phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. Let's watch him some more here. Boom. He's got, I'm hoping you can see it. I truly do. I'm hoping you can see what I'm talking about with that Cobra pose. Cut off the arms and at the base of the elbow, and just think of this aura of an orb energy that lives where your hips are recessed back into your core and your spine, and it's completed by your elbows. It's an unshakable, unmovable base. It's fucking phenomenal. This is where he gets the short range power from. I think this video purely demonstrates his Fansao, even though it's in a controlled, trapping, almost Chisao-like environment. Watch his Yuma, the rising, the sinking, the turning, the explosion, the recessing back into the core. I think this is phenomenal. Boom, boom, boom. He's got that short-range power that's exploded. He knows how to flow in and out of his strike zone. Elbows, he uses knees and kicks. Strike, all within his Yuma, all within that core, all within that beach ball Cobra pose range. This is something that nobody talked about when it comes down to why Bruce Lee flexed in that position. You're almost like getting your arms out of your way so you could focus on where your power is in that elbow energy. This is just absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned. So the bottom line, my viewpoint, again, Master Tu, I hope that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I disrespected in any way. I think he has some of the best application of Wing Chun for the recovery of our art's abused, bullshit, watered-down Chisao days. 100%. This is a striking. This master, Sifu Dave Meadows, Sifu Klaus Brand, myself, we apply the concept of the strike and then recovery from a position of either, and the easiest way I can recover this, think about it this way. If you're a firearm, if you're training with your firearms and you are shooting at a target and that target moves, what happens when you recoil, right? You didn't properly handle the recoil, or you're in your weaver or isosceles stance and the round goes down range, and now you got to come back up on your target. How's your front sight alignment? How is your rear sight aperture? How is your base for your next round that has gotten down the range? It's the same thing. When you fire a punch and you miss or you hit and it doesn't do anything, are you in a position to deliver another hit? Or even if you're in a grappling space, how are you able to deal with anti-grappling if you're in a Wing Chun concept? This guy's footwork, his base, his core, all the way, it's feet to the base, to the core, to the delivery of the strike through the elbow, then translated into his ability to strike through the fist, 100%. 100%. His ideas and expressing the ideas in, I don't care if it's pad work or drill work, he knows exactly what he's talking about. I think that if you have the opportunity, train with this man, I think you will have phenomenal fighting ability. Guys, I hope that made sense. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Again, if you like the t-shirts, like the Wing Chun t-shirts, the whole line is available in the description section. Click on whatever you want to get. Make a purchase. Wear it proudly. Send me a photo so we can feature you over here on the Yizzo Wing Chun YouTube channel. And as always, see you on the next video.